Hello and welcome to Recharge and Rise. I'm your host and founder, Emma Draycott, and I am an anxiety and burnout freedom therapist and hypnotherapist. And I'm blessed to be joined by Kate today. She is an expert in EFT and she supports people to really break through blocks to reduce the emotional turmoil through EFT. So we're going to dive straight into what EFT is, and you're going to get a lovely experience of it today. So welcome, Kate. I'm so pleased that you're here today.
Hi, Emma. So good to be with you today. Thank you so much for having me. It's a real treat.
Yes. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm really looking forward to this. So I've obviously said EFT, but can you expand on what that actually is?
Yes, so EFT stands for emotional freedom technique, and it's like acupuncture without the needles. It's also known as tapping, and basically how it works is negative emotions get stored in the body and they create this disruption in our energy system. And the tapping gets everything moving again. I love it because it's working with the body and the mind. And you can do it on yourself if you're having a stressful day.
Yeah. So some people might find, and I did, I've got to say, when I first learned about EFT, I was like, how? How does that do that? So, can you explain a little bit more about actually how tapping on those points does actually move energy around our body and shift emotional blocks?
Yeah, so basically, we're tapping on the meridians. So, like I said, it's like acupuncture, and these emotions get stored in the body, they create a disruption. And by tapping on these different meridian points, you're clearing the energy. We're also working with the mind. So, all the monkey mind that we can have, the conversations. So, it's a powerful combination of the two. And it really helps get the energy flowing again. So, we can have a trauma that happened last week or last year or 10 years ago or from our childhood. And anytime we think about it, we can tense up, if we think of that memory. And after doing the tapping and tapping on the different meridians, it's there's a peaceful energy that comes when we tune into that memory.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And how did you get into doing what you're doing? So, what's your story to this point?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm from England, obviously, originally, and I live in San Francisco. And I came over over 30 years ago. And I studied body work, and then I studied tarot, and I used to do I still do intuitive readings. And then I did hypnosis. I used to smoke cigarettes years ago, and I quit using hypnotherapy. And then about 18 years ago, my aunt's a therapist in England, and she introduced me to the tapping. And I was like, what's this strange technique? And I thought it was a bit strange, but I would try it on myself. And then my sister tried it, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You have to go and train. And so I looked online, and there happened to be a training in the Bay Area. And again, quite skeptical, I went, and I ended up being blown away by it and became like a sponge where I just wanted to learn everything there was to know about it. It's a very simple technique, but there's a lot of depth to it. And I like to call it abundance tapping because I find when we clear our anxiety, our fear, guilt, shame, grief, all the things we have, all the negative emotions that we can have as humans, we relax, it raises our energy, and we naturally are open to more possibilities in our lives. If you think about it, if you're angry at someone, it can take up a lot of headspace. We're thinking about that person, and it can really get in the way of us moving in the direction of our dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm super passionate about it. 18 years later, it still amazes me whether I'm doing it on myself or with my clients. Yeah. And
And
it's great to work with a practitioner for the deeper issues, but the fact that you can do it on yourself is fantastic.
Thank you so much for sharing that in part of your story. I think because it is, and you've said it yourself as well, well, one, it's a simple technique, and two, especially the first time you're introduced to it, it is a bit strange. I remember myself when I was introduced, I was like, what on earth is this? But I was like, okay, I'll give it a go, but this feels really weird. But like you said, it's got so much depth, and the fact that you're doing still, doing it and seeing what you're seeing all this time after training. Could you please share some stories of how you've seen EFT actually support people and what types of things it supported them through? So, really want to share the actual power of this, even though it is so simple or can be.
Yes, yes. Well, there's an expression called try it on anything, and you really can use it for anything. So, um, you can use it for money issues. If you're stressed or overwhelmed about money, it's a lovely way to clear stress and relax. So I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs around money and blocks to receiving money, to raising your rates, things like that, that can the inner game of being an entrepreneur. I used to have a fear of public speaking. You would never get me in front of an audience. And I used the tapping to clear my fear of shining and being seen. And so I really love helping people with that. I find that we have a gift. Everyone has a gift to share with the world, or many gifts, and often people hide out. You can use it for health issues like pain relief if you have chronic pain. And if you have any health issues, we'll often tap on the emotional side of having that health issue and also the physical symptoms. Procrastination, if you're really resisting getting something done, it's great for that. Relationships, again, as I mentioned, if you're mad at somebody, if you're in a relationship, obviously things can pile up and baggage can occur, and it's great for clearing that. So let's see. Yeah, you name it. And you can actually use it for addictions too. So if you want to quit smoking, I do the hypnosis, but I also do the tapping where you use it for cravings, if you've got cravings. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I tried it for, a craving, years
Oh,
ago. That was my first experience, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And because a craving is quite, well, like an emotion, you can rate it, so I evidenced it as well. I was like, well, what's the craving at now? I did this tap in, didn't really know what I was doing, just followed it, and I was like, oh, my craving has gone. So it was so evidence, like instant results. Is it? So you can clearly use it for instant results, but does it help
yes.
get to like the deeper? So you mentioned about
Yes.
public speaking. So do you use it
Mhm.
every time, or has it actually eliminated that block?
Yeah, I did a lot of work around, and I do this with clients too. Usually the core issue is safety, like feeling safe to be seen, to shine. And yeah, I found there's a lot of different aspects. So you can tap on the fear of shining, but then there's these different aspects. There's worried about what people think. There's like, what if I make a mistake? What if they laugh at me? What if they're mad at me? All the different aspects that you clear. So there's a lot of depth to it. And often it will go back to a core root issue or trauma. So from your childhood. So I also do this thing called matrix re-imprinting in the one-on-one sessions where we go back and your adult self will go back and actually tap on the younger self and we'll re-imprint the memory because most of us have had experiences in our past where we put our hand up to say something, or maybe in school, and it didn't go well, and then we decide, oh my gosh, it's not safe to express myself in public. It's best to be. I was painfully shy and very, I just would not speak in a group. It was too scary for me. So yeah, so it's really good to, and then we decide it's not safe, and then we can spend a lot of our lives hiding out. And I'm very passionate about, like I said, I feel like everyone has amazing gifts to share, and often people are staying under the radar because they have this kind of fear of public speaking or fear of putting themselves out in the world.
Yeah, and that's clearly something that you're very, very passionate about. And I know that you're going to bring to today's session for us in terms of that, the fear of us being seen, the fear that we might have into sharing our gifts. And it means that lots of people might, just fit in, blend in, not step out of that comfort zone. So we're going to do some
Mhm.
tapping around that in a moment. But before we do, so what I can hear you saying is actually the tapping can help create safety where that what
Yes.
the once was fear. And actually, there might be that you
Mhm.
do that multiple times until actually you naturally feel safety in those
Yeah,
areas, it sounds like.
yeah, yeah, and just really tapping into that powerful part of us, because often we have different parts of ourselves, and there's the powerful confident part of ourselves, and then there's the young part of ourselves, which is like, no, we have to hide. And you're just really, often the younger part can be leading the way and just, no, we've got to hide out, we've got to stay under the radar, and we want to let the powerful part of us lead the way. Yeah.
Love this. So we're just going to go into it, aren't we? I'm going to
Yes.
be your guinea pig or shadow. So we're,
Yes.
you know, you, we're so blessed, and thank you so much for guiding us through something rather than, just talking about it. We're going to actually experience the power of it. So I'll hand it over to you, and I'll be guided by you.
Wonderful. Yeah, so everyone listening, what I'd love you to do is think of something that's stressing you out. And it could be stress about money, or it could be what we were talking about, the fear of shining and being seen. And give it a number 0 to 10. So 10 is high and 0 is low. And for everyone tapping along, we'll go over the tapping points for everyone. And then if I say anything when we're tapping, you or the people listening can change the words anytime. But we always start with the part of us that doesn't want to change. So part of us is like, of course I want to let this issue go. And another part saying, no way, we have to hide out. Um, so let's go over the tapping point. So you're going to tap here. This is the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop, and you can do either hand. So you're tapping along. I'll lead you through a sequence of words. Like I said, change the words if I say anything that doesn't resonate. And I'm going to take you on a journey from the negative to the positive. Um, there's an expression, you have to feel it to heal it. So there's something very powerful about really saying, yes, I have this issue. And you'll see, we'll say, and I love and accept myself. So we start here, and then we go here where the brow ends near the nose, and then the side of the eyes, underneath the eyes, nose, chin, collarbone, and then underneath the arm. So you can cross your arm, it's 4 inches down from the armpit. Um, you can cross your arms, or you could do this if it's more comfortable. And then the rib cage, which is here. These are 2 extra points that not everyone does, and then 2 wrists together. But this is the way I was taught, and it's good to do the extra points, I find. And then top of the head. And you take a deep breath, and some people, when they do tapping, will just do one side of the body. And then I really like to do both sides, because it's like, why not just balance out the whole body? So yeah, so those are the points. Anything else you want to say before we begin?
No, other than like with the one underneath, just go with what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. Don't worry about like, I've got to do the certain points right, right? Like, do what feels good to you. So let's go here. Repeat after me. Even though and we're going to do it on the fear of shining and being seen. So, but you can change the words if you're listening and tapping along and say, I'm stressed about money, or whatever your issue is. So even though I have all this fear of shining and being seen,
So even though I have all this fear of being seen and shining,
and I don't know how to let this go,
and I don't know how to let this go,
Maybe it doesn't seem possible.
Maybe it doesn't seem possible.
I wonder who I'd be without this fear.
I wonder who I'd be without this fear.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
Close your eyes, everyone. Deep breath. Even though part of me has all these blocks to shining and being seen,
Even though there's parts of me that have all these blocks to being seen,
these blocks to success,
these blocks to success,
and I don't know how to let this go.
and I don't know how to let this go.
Maybe it doesn't feel safe.
Maybe it doesn't feel safe.
I can't relax about this.
I can't relax about this.
I have to be on guard.
I have to be on guard.
But I accept who I am
But I accept who I am.
and I appreciate my feelings.
And I appreciate my feelings.
Deep breath, everyone. Even though part of me is so afraid to shine and be seen,
Even though a part of me is scared of being seen and shining,
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Close your eyes, deep breath. And then we're going to the eyebrows. All this fear of shining and being seen.
All this fear of shining and being seen,
Side of the eyes, this fear of shining and being seen.
this fear of shining and being seen,
Underneath the eyes, all this fear and worry about what people think.
all this fear and worry about what people think,
Nose, this pressure to be perfect.
this pressure to be perfect,
Chin, all this fear and worry about sharing my gifts with the world.
all this fear and worry about sharing my gifts with the world,
Collarbone, all these blocks to success.
all these blocks to success.
Underneath the arms, part of me just wants to hide out.
Part of me just wants to hide out.
Rib cage, go away.
Go away.
Two wrists together, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Top of the head, part of me feels so much safer hiding out.
Part of me feels so much safer hiding out.
Eyebrows, all these blocks to success.
All these blocks to success.
All this fear of shining and being seen.
All this fear of shining and being seen.
All this worrying about what they think.
All this worry about what they think.
What if they don't think I'm very good?
What happens if they don't feel that I'm very good?
What if they're mad at me?
What if they're mad at me?
What if they laugh at me?
What if they laugh at me?
All this pressure to be perfect.
All this pressure to be perfect.
Rib cage, all this hiding against myself. Oh, sorry, all this turning against myself.
All this turning against myself.
Two wrists together. It's so exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
Top of the head, and I have suffered so much about this.
And I have suffered so much about this.
Eyebrows, I would really like to feel safe to let it go.
I would really like to feel safe to let it go.
Letting go of any guilt or shame from my past about what I did or didn't do.
Letting go of all that shame about the past.
Letting go of any anger at myself or anyone else.
Letting go of any anger about myself or anyone else.
Letting go of this loss of power.
Letting go of this loss of power.
Letting go of all these blocks to shining and being seen.
Letting go of all these blocks to shining and being seen.
All these blocks to success.
All these blocks to success.
I let go of being general manager of the universe.
I let go of being general manager of the universe,
and I give this to the universe to handle.
and I give this to the universe to handle.
I don't need to do this all by myself.
I don't need to do this all by myself.
And you can say, I give it to God or the divine or the universe, whatever word resonates. It's safe to relax about all of this.
It's safe to relax about all of this.
Trusting the divine order of my life,
Trust in the divine order of my life,
that good will come out of these challenges,
that good will come out of these challenges,
and that good lies before me,
and that good lies before me,
that I am safe and protected at all
that I
times.
am that I am safe and protected at all times.
Deep breath, keep tapping. It's safe to relax,
It's safe to relax.
enjoy the journey,
Enjoy the journey.
listening to my inner wisdom.
Listening to my inner wisdom.
I know what to do.
I know what to do.
I call my power back
I call my power back
from all dimensions of time and space.
from all dimensions of time and space.
It is safe to shine and be seen.
It is safe to shine and be seen.
It is safe to succeed.
It is safe to succeed.
I'm grateful for the good,
I'm grateful for the good,
and I celebrate how far I've come.
and I celebrate how far I've come.
I'm expanding my capacity to receive
I'm expanding my capacity to receive
all the good the universe has for me.
all the good the universe has for me.
More abundance,
More abundance,
more love and support,
more love and support,
more joy,
more joy,
more play, fun, and ease.
more play, fun, and ease.
It is safe to shine and be seen.
It is safe to shine and be seen.
I'm allowed to shine and be seen.
I'm allowed to shine and be seen.
I give myself permission to shine and be seen.
I give myself permission to shine and be seen.
I deserve to shine and succeed.
I deserve to shine and succeed.
I love shining and succeeding.
I love shining and succeeding.
I love being me.
I love being me.
I'm so excited about this new chapter.
I'm so excited about this new chapter,
And I love being paid well for my services,
and I love being paid well for my services,
expanding my capacity to receive all the success and joy.
expanding my capacity to receive all the success and joy.
Is there anything you want to let go of or bring in? Anything you want to add? Or does that all resonate?
Not in particular, nothing that comes to mind, so I
Yeah,
don't think I'll first
great.
force it.
Yeah, so I'm so excited about this new chapter.
I'm so excited about this new chapter.
I am ready now.
I am ready now.
So close your eyes, hands on your heart, 3 deep breaths. Taking a moment to connect with your younger self. So your adult self, giving your younger self a hug and letting her know, I love you, I have your back, and ask her, what do you need for your healing today around this issue so that you feel safe, loved, and supported, and you're really getting your needs met. Deep breath. And sometimes it's just a hug, or sometimes they have a specific request. Um, so keep your eyes closed and just give them a hug, or maybe they want support specifically. So giving them a hug and then letting them know, I love you. You can call on me anytime. I have your back. And placing them in your heart. Deep breath. traveling down the timeline of your life to your future self. It's a year from today. There you are, living your best life. Give your future self a hug and ask her, what words of wisdom do you have for me as I move in the direction of my dreams? There you are, shining, being seen, succeeding on a whole new level. Give your future self a hug, coming back to your present self. Asking, is there anything else I need for my healing today so that I feel safe, loved, and supported? And I'm really getting my needs met. Any actions I need to take, any next steps. And then cutting cords with anything that's stressing you out, any person, any situation. Sending love, giving it back to the universe or the divine or to God, whatever word resonates. And cutting cords so it's just your energy. Breathing in divine love into your mind, into your heart, into each and every cell of your body, showering yourself with tremendous love and compassion. Safe to relax, safe to enjoy the journey, listening to inner wisdom each and every step of the way. You know what to do. It's safe to shine, it's safe to be seen, and it's safe to enjoy the journey, expanding your capacity to receive. Life loves you, all is well. Deep breath. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, stretch your fingers and toes, loosen your jaw, inhale deeply. How are you feeling?
Yeah, lovely.
Good.
So
Yeah.
relaxing.
So that's the journey. I tend to do a deeper clearing. Some people will do a shorter round with tapping, but I like to kind of go in there and like it's like sweeping all the monkey mind, the guilt, the shame, the fear out, and then really coming back to our powerful self. I'm like, oh yeah, I
Mm,
know what to do, and I can do this.
yeah. I think that's really powerful within it, actually, that they're coming back to yourself, the knowing, and the trust.
Yeah,
But it was um really validating. So even though they're not necessarily my words or the way I would say things, it's still really interesting how validating it feels. So you start to tap and you just say it, but then you start to resonate with the words, and then there seems to be like an energetic shift of like validation of like, I don't know, just like it's hard to explain other than a yes, yeah. And then it does feel like a journey, I guess is what I'm saying. And then it's going through
yeah.
the then different feelings as you come to
Hmm.
the end, and then connecting with the younger version of yourself, and that's quite reassuring. It definitely felt very safe, like safe. I know you said the word safe as well, but at the end it did feel safe. There was a good sense of safety within.
Right. Yeah. And it's really good to give ourselves room to feel our feelings because often we want to sweep them under the carpet and go, oh, I'm fine. It's okay. And just to go around the points and express. I'm worried about what people think, or what if they don't like me, and just to really get into that. And so, and if you're tapping on your own, um, just you can have a good vent. You can go and tap and just say all the things that you want to say. And so, say you're really triggered and you have, like I said, if you're mad at somebody or you're worried about, like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about this thing, you can just go around the points and just really give, one of the things is giving yourself room to feel your feelings. And then also saying, I'm anxious, but I love and accept myself. And the body's like, oh, you still love and accept me? Because often when we have an issue, we're kind of making ourselves wrong and turning against ourselves. So there's a huge relief when we say, I have this fear of shining, but I do love and accept myself anyway. And it's like, it helps the body relax and the mind.
Yeah, the same for like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling, because it is really interesting that acceptance of yourself and the impact that that has. And it's
Mm.
almost like that just reassuring. I think that's why, like, I do really like the blend of the tapping because I know that that's shifting the emotion, but there's just the reinforcement through the words that makes I feel like the words are really powerful alongside it.
Yes, yes, yeah. We have, as humans, we can have and especially as women, we can have so much going on in our minds. It's really nice to just get it up and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this technique, is there a, so say somebody was at an office desk or around other people, I know obviously there's a full sequence, but is there something that would be easier to access
Mhm.
if you was around people or you wanted to be a bit more discreet?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, there are. Sometimes people will do this tapping on your collarbone or even just with one hand. You'll see people do this just subconsciously without even realizing. Um, you could just do the karate chop point, if you're in a meeting. And then you can do the finger points. So tapping on the side of the fingers like this. You can use your thumb and just tap the side of the fingers like that. So if I'm out walking, if I'm feeling anxious, I'll just do the finger points. And that's a really nice way to do it without anyone really knowing what you're doing. If you are at work or you're in a meeting, or say a conflict has happened and you're feeling very triggered and upset, if you can, it's really good to say, hey, I'm just going to the bathroom, I'll be back. Go to the restroom and then tap, and go, oh my gosh, I'm so upset that they said that. I can't believe they said that. And just do a little clearing in the bathroom. That could be really good too. It's really good, obviously, if you're in a conflict and you're feeling triggered, to, if you can, just step away and take a breather or go for a little walk if you can and take some space. Because often in those moments when we're triggered, that's when we end up saying or doing something we kind of regret. So giving ourselves, if we can, take a little bit of space, like, I'll be right back. I just need to go and think about this, or let me get back to you, to try and carve out a little bit of space. And the whole boundaries thing is so important too. And the tapping can be really good for that too, saying no when you want to say no, or some people have trouble with that. And it can be really good to tap on boundaries too.
You mean
So,
at the time doing setting the boundary or to
um,
enable the setting of it?
yeah, it's great to just work on that topic, because I know a lot of people can have trouble saying no because they
Yeah.
feel guilty or bad, or they're putting the codependent part of us that's putting somebody else before ourselves. So the tapping's really good for that too, where you just clear this fear of saying no, worried about what they think, what if they're upset, and then you tune into that powerful part of yourself where you say, thanks for asking, but no, I'm not available, sorry. And you can just, calmly say no without feeling guilty or bad.
It's actually you've cleared that and you processed some of those emotions and created that safety.
Yes, exactly. Where you feel
Mm,
safe to put yourself first and to speak your truth, you know?
mhm.
And it said, it's like sometimes people aren't going to like what we have to say. If it's a no, they want us to do what they want us to do. But it's so nice when you really speak your truth and you're not feeling like, oh God, I said yes to that thing and I wish I hadn't. It's just the liberation and freedom from saying no when you want to say no can be wonderful.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because if we don't, then we're living our life through obligation and of what other people want of us, not necessarily what we want ourselves. And I see this a lot in burnout because, you
Yes.
know, and I do really acknowledge as well that it's a conditioning part of us as well, isn't it? As well as, that codependency. And there's an internal need for us to be liked, accepted, and within communion. So there's lots
Yeah.
of drivers for us to please other people,
Yeah.
but it can really lead to as like dissatisfaction in ourselves, frustration, resentment, and burning out because we overcommit to things that we don't even want to do. So we don't feel good when we do
No,
them.
yeah. And to have a breakthrough in that is just life changing. So it frees
Yeah,
you up so much so that you really let go of that pattern of doing things you don't want to be doing. It's
yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah. And then just one thing real quick is, as I say, I like to call it abundance tapping, like when you tap on money stress. And I remembered when I first did tapping, I was tapping on deserving. And that evening, I received $900 in cash as an unexpected gift. Um, and I was like, oh my gosh, this works. And so doing the tapping daily and clearing blocks to receiving can be really good. But to me, abundance means, financially, but also having a life we love in all areas.
Yeah, absolutely. So the top tip there really wasn't it? So if you feel like you've got a block, that you can tap through that to clear that block, and it can be
Yeah,
simple. It doesn't have to be
yeah,
complicated.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's the scoop. That's the everything in a
Thank you
nutshell.
so much for guiding me through that and also for sharing that with our listeners as well. So, I want to, before we finish, I'd just love for you to share what your free gift is with our listeners.
Oh, yes, yes. So, basically, there's some free tapping videos. So you'll get a video on how to tap. There's one on releasing anger. There's one for if you feel like you're struggling, and you'll also stay connected with. I often do free tapping events on Zoom, so you'll stay connected with me and hear of upcoming events too.
Amazing. That's so generous of you. So, thank you very much. So, forgive me for that. So,
Mm.
thank you very much for being here, listeners. Again, thank you for being here, sharing your time and energy. And if you haven't already, I'd love for you to join my free gift to you as well, which is masterclass experience with me for 3 days, where I'm going to be sharing your freedom formula to anxiety and burnout. So, Kate, again, thank you very much for being here. And for everyone else, I'll see you on another video. So, bye for
Thank
now.
you so much.